stunting. All these girls only gon' want one thing. I could spend my whole life goodwill hunting. Only good gon' come.
May 5th on Fox. Tune in right at 8 as hard-hitting heavyweights Pat Barry and LeVar Johnson go head-to-head in the first of 4 huge fights. Then Palhares battles Belcher, Koscheck takes on Hendricks, and Ultimate Fighter champion Nate Diaz faces Jim Miller for a shot at title contention. 4 huge fights, 1 great night. May 5th live, free, and only on Fox.
Good afternoon, everybody. What's up, New York? Thanks for coming today. We appreciate it. You know, I like to do this. Let's get right into the questions. Who's first? Raise your hand, media guys. They'll bring you over a microphone.
Are you happy with the past performance of the main event in the last UFC fight?
What are you asking me, sir?
The fight sucked.
Which fight was that?
The main event.
Oh, Evans versus Davis?
Yeah. Are you happy with the performance?
You know, when you have live fights, you know, there's lots of different types of fights. I can tell you this, the reason that we stack the cards the way that we do is because, you know, some fights aren't going to be as great as others, but when you stack the card that we do, you're at least going to get some great fights. It's unfortunate that you thought that fight sucked, sir, but I hope the rest of the card was good for you. All right. On the last fight, it was a wrestling match. You know, was it the barn burner, the most exciting fight I've ever seen? No. Would I have liked to have seen a more exciting fight? Yes. Did I answer your question? Kinda? All right. Next question. That's it? It's the only question we have here today? Right over here in the red hat. Are you with the media, sir?
No. First spot.
No? Do any media people have any questions? This is a press conference. I'll get to the fans after.
A question for Josh Koscheck, actually. Reed Forgrave with Fox Sports. I'm curious, the reputation you have, people kind of booing you when you get out there. Does it get to you sometimes?
Nope.
Why not?
Why would I let a bunch of couch potato internet warriors get to me? You know what I mean? Like, what have they done? Like, are they the ones out there cutting the weight? Are they the ones putting in 11 weeks of training camp? Nope. You know, that's me. So I'm out there grinding hard, and I know that, you know, I got a lot of good people around me, and you know, I don't let that bother me. You know, it's been how many years now? I mean, it's been quite a bit, and I'd rather have them booing the hell out of me every time I walk out than just being like, chirp, chirp, chirp. Yeah. Then I'm like, oh, then I'm probably not going to have a job if that's the case. So keep booing me, please.
Question, Dana. The first Fox card, you had 1 fight, Kane and Junior. You expanded it to a couple fights last time. Now we have 4. How far are you willing to expand the Fox card? Are you looking to have a full pay-per-view card?
Yeah, this thing's been a work in progress. I said after that the first Fox card was, the deal hadn't even started yet. You know, David Hill said, let's throw the heavyweight championship on Fox to kind of kick this thing off. That's what we did, and now we're catching our stride here. There's no doubt UFC fans want to see more fights, and I think Fox understands that now, and we're, you know, on every one of these networks and all the shows that we do, this whole thing's been a work in progress, and I think we're there now.
Question for Johnny. Josh's last fight, he sort of said that he wasn't motivated. It seems that you sort of lit a fire under his ass this time. He's definitely coming into a lot more motivated than the last one. So how do you feel at that, seeing as though you seem to have got him going for this fight?
Good, you know. I know he's a tough fighter. You know, hopefully we can go out there and put on a good fight for the fans. That's pretty much all we do. You know what I'm saying? Without you guys, it's just another bar fight. So that's what it's all about, is making sure that the fans are happy. So I plan on doing it.
And just in retort to that, Josh, you spoke a lot about the media this week, but you've lost 1 fight out of your last 6, and that was the George St. Pierre. So are you quite surprised the way that they've come out and sort of said that you're finished?
No, I'm not surprised, you know. That last performance wasn't the best, but, you know, as a fighter, you have good performances and you have bad ones, and I plan on making Saturday night a good one. So when I get to put Johnny to sleep in front of you guys on Fox, you guys are going to go crazy. So there'll be no booing after that. It's going to be a lot of cheers.
There will be.
Just, lastly, Dana, I was just going to ask you one more. You said yesterday about Jim Miller and Nate Diaz and the way of the lightweight title and the path forward. Do you have in your mind what's going to happen if either one wins? Because it seems to be backed up at the moment with Frankie getting a rematch.
Yeah, that's the truth. You know, I was talking about that with Joe Silva yesterday, and that's true. Should, let's say Nate Diaz does win tomorrow, he'd have to be on the shelf for like 9 months, which I wasn't even thinking of that yesterday when we talked. So it's one of those things. We'll see who wins on Saturday night, and we'll go from there, talk to the guys, and see what they want to do.
Hey, Dana. And staying on that theme, Jim Miller and Josh kind of said that those guys are not in the same position as Nate and Johnny. However, if they were to win their fights in impressive fashion, say Josh is talking about a knockout, would your thinking change on the fact that those guys can move into that title picture?
Again, we'll have to see what happens, you know. And, you know, Hendricks and Koscheck, you know, usually when these guys win, it usually is in impressive fashion. So I would imagine that they would win that way. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
I don't know.
Nice try, Franklin. I appreciate that offering to get me the title shot next, so thanks.
Hi, I would like to make a question for Toquinho. Can I do it in Portuguese first?
You sure can.
Okay, Toquinho.
Will you translate it for us after you do it?
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Okay.
I know what I'm going to say, so
Okay.
it's easy.
Thank you.
Toquinho, desde que o UFC estourou no Brasil e você vê com o reality show agora e toda essa mídia em cima, como todo mundo está apaixonado pelo esporte, eu quero saber como que isso tem ajudado sua carreira para você treinar e se isso acha que vai facilitar agora no seu empenho para essa luta. I asked about the boom that is UFC in Brazil with the reality show and the UFC in Rio that happened. So how things are being easier for you now to train, you know, with sponsors and everything, if this is making your fight now, if you're more prepared for this fight now because of it. Thank you.
Em primeiro lugar, muito boa tarde a todos que estão aqui. Eu queria dizer que esse acontecimento do UFC no Brasil foi de grande importância para todos os brasileiros e para mim, para toda a minha família também. E eu acho que o que vai me ajudar nisso é só o incentivo das pessoas do Brasil que começaram a entender mais sobre o evento, sobre as lutas e torcerem mais por mim, que sou lutador do UFC e um dos brasileiros que estou representando o Brasil aqui hoje. Obrigado.
Oh, thank you. He said that, you know, more people are appreciating the sport and supporting him, that appreciates all the fans in Brazil, and definitely things are, you know, less difficult for him right now.
Thank you.
Paula Saki for Dana White about Rosemar Palhares Toquinho and Alan Belcher. Will the winner of this fight be the next in line for a title shot?
Don't know. Don't know. We'll see what happens.
Jim, I was told that you were doing a donation to charity with a portion of the proceeds from your walkout shirt. I was wondering if you could talk to us about that.
We did a signature limited edition T-shirt with Tap Out, and they were generous enough to be donating, I believe, $10 per shirt to my nephew's foundation, the Daniel James Miller Foundation. It was a very generous move by them, and I'm really excited to work with them.
Dana, over to your right. Here we are in New York City. How does it feel, and when's the fight? When do you think the fights are going to be actually happening at Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, everybody's been asking me that today. I was predicting 2 years ago that it was going to happen. you know, it's one of those things. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's eventually going to happen. We're still hammering this thing over here and trying to get it done. So eventually, you know, you know, we're going to continue to do business and put fights on everywhere else. As soon as we get New York done, as soon as we get New York done, we'll be at Madison Square Garden. We'll also take the fights to Buffalo, Syracuse, Rochester, and all these other cities here in the state.
A couple questions for Nate, please. Nate, there's always kind of a natural tendency for people to compare your fighting style to your brothers. You guys do a lot of similar things. I'm wondering, what do you make of that, and what differentiates you? What do you think style-wise is different between you and Nick?
Well, we train together, and we're brothers, so obviously everybody's going to say we're similar, and he's pretty much my MMA coach altogether, you know. He helps me with jiu-jitsu, boxing, everything I know, so a lot of credit does go to him. We're different fighters, and we do different things also, so, but I probably have to agree that we are pretty similar, but we're different fighters, so.
Before your last fight, I remember you told a couple stories, and you said you felt like you were getting a whole lot more attention, more fans, people were talking to you. Have you felt that continue going into this? A main event on Fox, and is it something you enjoy?
Yeah, it's cool. Fox is a big deal. I'm happy I could fight, you know, on the Fox television on such a big show with all this that's going on, and it's great.
And then one question for Dana, please. Dana, I know you've talked about this before, but I think this is the second Fox show you guys have done on the same night as a big boxing card, and I know you guys going first. Is that something you think you really benefit from, having this card right before, I guess, Floyd will walk out on Saturday night?
I actually think we do. I think we both benefit from it, and we've seen it in the numbers in the past. You know, everybody works hard all week, Monday through Friday, and you have 2 days off. You got Friday night and you got Saturday night. You got to do stuff with your kids. You got to take your girl out. Whatever your deal is, you have stuff to do. And we compete with that every weekend. And I think that on a night when you can watch the free fights on Fox and you can tune into the Mayweather fight after, more guys are going to stay home. There's a lot more going on that night. I know for a fact, every time we do these Fox cards, I have the fight, you know, in my room in the back, and I go right back, and I will Saturday too. We'll do these fights, and I'll go back and I'll watch the Mayweather-Cotto fight right after. So if you're a fight fan, it makes all the sense in the world to stay home on Saturday night. Mike, right here in the front.
Question for Nate. Since Dana said, you know, if you do win and become the #1 contender, it could be a long 9 months, he said, possibly, where you'd have to wait. Would you be willing to kind of be inactive for that period of time and wait, or would you want to fight again and risk that #1 contender spot?
I got a fight on Saturday.
Those are the answers he gives me too.
Yeah, question for Nate. Nate, you and your brother notoriously make no bones about hating the media and doing press conferences and open workouts and all that stuff. So how annoyed are you sitting up there right now having to answer questions? You could touch on that for us, please.
I don't hate the media. Sometimes I'm probably in a better mood for it, you know? So I think you guys are doing great.
LeVar, this is your second fight in the UFC, but the first one that's going to be televised on Fox. What's the big difference for you with the media attention for this versus in Strikeforce?
I'm getting noticed a lot more. This is the UFC, the best, you know, fighting organization there is, the highest you could go. So it's great for me. My name's getting out there. I'm getting a lot of fans, and I'm just blessed to be here. You know, thankful to get this opportunity on Saturday, and hopefully capitalize on it and be around for a lot longer.
And just to follow up, Your career almost ended when you were shot a couple of times, so 7 times, I believe. From then to now, where's your mentality as far as getting a second chance at your career?
The shooting is done and over with. I'm healed up. There's nothing wrong with me, so I'm through with that. And just being able to fight is a blessing in itself, you know. And to be here in the UFC, you know, I can't ask for much more.
Hey, this is a question for Jim Miller. Given that your accomplishments so far in the UFC at 10-2 over the course of your time here, and you went 10-2, you won 7 in a row at one point. I think Nate has went 3-3 in his last 6 fights at 155. I'm wondering if you're confused as to why you wouldn't have, you know, the next shot if you were to get by him.
You know, honestly, it doesn't matter to me right now. I've got the fight with Nate in 2 days, and that's where my focus is. From doing that, you know, having that 7-win stretch and dealing with the rematches in this division, it really cemented that things change and things happen. So I'm not going to sit here and try to predict what will happen, you know, with a win or with a loss. I'm just focused on the fight itself. You know, and after that, then it's time to speculate about the next fight.
Dana, in regards to New York MMA, do you have any read on what's going on with the legislation? I mean, do you pay close attention to it? I know it's past the Senate now. It's into the Tourism Committee with Margaret Markey. It hasn't yet gone through the, you know, the divisions in the Assembly. It needs to go through to go through. Are you aware of all that stuff, or do you?
Yeah, absolutely. We have guys who are following it closely and very involved in it. You know, am I on it day to day? No, but you know, they're on it. They fill me in and let me know what's going on. But we have guys working around the clock on that stuff. Believe me. Media done? All right, let's ask some fans some questions.
How you doing, Dana?
What's up, buddy?
First off, I just want to say, Nate, you're the man. So good luck. You know, I'm a Jim Miller fan too, so I know you guys you guys have put on a great show. It's a great card. You know, like I told you before, I just moved up here from Florida, so just want to know, what can I do to get tickets, man?
Actually, good question. Normally I get mad when people ask me that at the press conference, but good question. I haven't tweeted tickets in a while. I will be tweeting tickets here in New York this weekend. So,
all right. Good luck, guys. Thank you.
Stay tuned. Thank you, man.
Danny, thanks for coming back to New York and to New Jersey, man. It's a great card. You know, Diaz and Miller's going to be spectacular. I can't wait for it. But nobody's giving any love to my boy Pat Barry. What's going on, Pat? What's going on, Pat? I'll ask a very simple question, man. How's the training camp and how you feeling?
Training camp went excellent with the Death Clutch guys in the academy in Minneapolis, Minnesota, with Marty Morgan, Cole Conrad, and a bunch of other dudes way bigger than me, make me think I'm too small of a heavyweight. Training camp has been like always, man. A lot of wrestling, a lot of jiu-jitsu, a lot of ground game, a lot of aggression, a lot of intensity, a lot of eating pizza, gas station hot dogs, man. I'm ready.
Good to hear, man. Can't wait to see you on Saturday. And
I can't wait to see you either.
Got some autographs afterwards.
Thank you, man. Go ahead, brother.
So Dana, thanks for bringing a fight as close to New York as you can legally bring it.
Thank you.
I have a question
Is that
about
Max Kellerman?
I've got a question about John Jones. When he moves up to heavyweight, how do you see him entering the division? As a #1 contender or a title shot, #2 contender?
What was the question? Say that again.
When John Jones moves up to heavyweight, is he going to get a title shot, #1 contender fight, #2 contender?
I think it's going to be a while before he moves up to heavyweight. You know, he's still got the Stan Henderson fight, and then I don't know. We'll see what happens. He's pretty much. I always say a guy shouldn't move up till they clean out a division. He's pretty damn close, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with this kid. He's so young still. He's got nothing but time.
Hey Dana, I want to say this lineup is badass, and this fight's going to be awesome this weekend. I got a question for Nate over there. I don't know if Nate could see me. Nah, hey Nate, how you doing, man? Hey, I know you and your brother train triathlon. You know, get yourself in shape. I got my first marathon coming up this weekend. I want to know if you have any advice for me.
I hope you're eating organic.
And thanks, man. Thanks for the support.
Hey, how you doing, Dana?
Hey.
First off, I think the guy that didn't like the Rashad Jones fight should take his press pass away. I wanted to talk to Jim Miller. Jim, from what I've been reading, it sounds like maybe you want to take the fight with Nate to the ground. If you can't get it to the ground, how do you think you'll fare against his boxing?
You know, I'm comfortable anywhere. I've trained for the last, 10, 11 weeks to fight one of the best in the world. So if the fight goes to the ground, I'm comfortable there. If it stays on his feet, I'm comfortable as well. You know, I've made a lot of improvements in the last year or so, in my striking in particular, and, you know, I feel good and sharp, and, you know, I'm going to be doing my best to show off those skills on Saturday night.
How you doing? Don't worry, I'm not going to ask for tickets. I already bought them the first day they were available. Me and all my friends. I have one quick question for actually Pat Berry. How you doing? I saw the entire time while you were up there, you had like these mean grimaces on your face. How's the overall lead up to this fight as opposed to the last ones? And I just have one quick request after this question.
What do you mean, the overall lead up?
Yeah, like the training camp, how's it going, and how you feeling coming to this fight? Because I know you were a little bit more focused going to the last one.
I was a little more focused going into the last fight than I am into this fight?
Yeah, a little bit more serious, yeah.
What?
Hey, that's how it came out to be. The last fight, you were really kind of focused coming off the like the Czech Congo fight and all the rest of them. How are you feeling kind of coming into this one? How's the psyche and the mindset?
More intense than it was last time. Like, I can't, you don't really think that I'm sitting here like, LeVar. So, like, every fight is the next big fight. It doesn't matter if it's a win or a loss beforehand, or if it's a title fight or the first fight of the undercard. Every fight is the next big fight. Winning is the goal. Winning is the key. So, I mean, every fight is way more important than the previous one, and this fight with LeVar is going to be a lot bigger. I mean, it's more intense, it's more focused than the fight with Christian Moorcraft, which was bigger than Stephen Struve, bigger than Czech Congo. I mean, you go all the way down the line. Like, every next test is the next biggest test. Everything is a make or break.
Awesome. And one quick question. Since I already have tickets and everything like that, I was wondering if you could fulfill a crazy request. It's kind of been my dream to walk out with one of the guys to one of the fights. Is there any way to make that happen?
What guy?
Any of them. I got huge respect for everybody that steps in the octagon, so it doesn't bother me. I'm a fan of everybody that's up there right now.
Well, it's up to these guys. I mean, yeah. Jim Miller said yes, you can walk
Hell
out
yeah.
with him.
Mr. Miller! Awesome!
Would you take care of this gentleman and get his information for me, please? Come on up here, buddy. Come on over to the corner of the stage here. And don't everybody start asking now, can I sit with Ariane? Can I go over here and do this? And
hey, Dana. My name's Nick. I'm over here to your right. I'm a 15-month veteran of Afghanistan. I was a medic with 82nd Airborne. Thank you. I was wondering, in the past, you guys have been great veteran supporters. You've done the fight for the troops. Are there any continued plans to do anything like that in the future? And I'll follow-on question if there's any fighters up there that any veterans or troop experiences you'd like to share. I believe Koscheck was down there at Fort Bragg for that fight for the troops a couple years back. So.
yeah, I would have to say probably everybody up here at this dais has done some work with the troops. When we were doing the fight for the troops regularly, what we were doing was we were raising money to build the Intrepid Center for traumatic brain injury. They didn't have enough money to finish the center, and we raised the money to finish it. But the answer is yes, we will be doing more fights for the troops, and we'll have another one this year. It's tough to coordinate with these air bases to put the fights on and to get it. Plus, we were in this weird transition period coming from, our old network to Fox. So, yes, the answer is yes, and we will be doing more and soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to show some love to Alan Belcher, the talent. Your team's here to support you all the way from Mississippi. How do you feel, Alan?
I feel good. I'm ready to go. And, man, I'm kind of disappointed I didn't get any questions, but I'll just kind of tell you guys how I feel right now. I feel, you know, this fight's huge for me, and I know my opponent is very, very, very dangerous with the leg locks. And, you know, yeah, I am pretty nervous, pretty worried going into this fight, but that's going to make me very confident to win. So I feel like I'm going to put on a show this Saturday and show the world that I'm the best in the division, and I can't wait.
This question is more so for Dana regarding the welterweight division. They say the interim belts are created to defend. How do you feel that Carlos Condit is waiting for GSP till he's healthy?
I'm sorry, say that again?
They say interim belts are created to defend while the current champion's out. How do you feel that Carlos Condit's waiting for GSP to be healthy?
How do I feel about him waiting to compete?
Do you think it's the right decision?
You know, that's up to those guys. You know, it's like the same question we had about Nate earlier. If Nate happens to pop into that #1 position, you know, some guys are different. You got a guy that says, yeah, I'll take the time, heal up, work on some stuff to get that, to stay in the slot for the #1 position to fight him when he comes back. Other guys say, no, I want to fight again. I want to get another fight in. And I truly believe staying active is better. I mean, the way you get better at fighting is by fighting. But it's up to the guys. You know, I sit down and I talk to these guys and see what they want to do. Carlos Condit, just to tell you guys, Carlos Condit, this guy did everything we asked him. Stepping down, moving over, doing this, doing that. You know, if the guy wants to sit out and wait for GSP, I got no problem with that. The guy's been a stud, has been a team player, and has always done whatever we've asked of him. So, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, my first question, I have two small questions. First question is for Pat Barry. You know, clearly you're the best submission artist in your division. And my question is, this is the truth. My question is, what submission are you going to beat LeVar Johnson with?
What submission am I going to beat LeVar Johnson with?
Yes.
There's something new that's in the works. I can't name it yet. I don't know. It's coming. We're going to pull something out of this bag of tricks.
Surprise us.
You're probably not going to see one.
And my second question is for Dana. Dana, I'm a college student, English major, and I'm also very passionate about MMA and UFC. What's your advice for someone who wants to work in a non-fighting career with the UFC?
In a non-violent career with the UFC?
Yes.
You know, we have a website that you can go and you can actually, you know, apply online. Mm-hmm. What's that website? Thank you. UFC.com/jobs.
Thank you.
Thank God you were here.
Over here, Danny, to your right.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, the rankings for the heavyweight division, but with the Barry Johnson fight, are they in for a top 5 contender after this?
Yeah, no, this is a big fight for both these guys. Actually, all these guys sitting up here at this dais right now, one of the things that you guys have heard me talk about for years was the model that I felt made boxing big back in the day. ABC's Wide World of Sports used to have the big fights on Saturday nights on free TV where millions of people could watch. And the way that we look at these box cards is we run these box cards like pay-per-views. You know, all the fights mean something. All the guys are in some type of position, you know, to get into those top spots. This is a big fight for all these guys on the card tonight, especially the guys that are on the main card. It's a big deal. So I don't know if I answered your question, but the answer is yes. All the guys who win on Saturday night, it's a big deal for their career, you know, and everything else that goes along with being in this profession.
All right, thanks. And I just want to say that this is a great card. Can't wait till Saturday night.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dana, right here.
What's up, buddy?
I'm just curious. I come from D.C. and I really enjoy the events that you have in New York. You used to have the viewing parties, like the UFC 100 and UFC 111 at Radio City Music Hall. I wonder why you stopped doing that.
That's a good question. Well, this one isn't a pay-per-view. This one's on free TV, if this was a big pay-per-view that we had here, you know, different than watching it on Fox, we would probably do that. For instance, we're already talking about, you know, the Anderson Silva Chael Sonnen fight. We're putting together a huge viewing party in Las Vegas for that thing. You know, so it depends on the fights. The fact that you can watch this on Fox, I mean, every bar and every establishment you could possibly go to can have the fight for free. So kind of a different situation with this fight. Hey.
Hey, Dana, I just had a question. I just wanted to know, who do you pick in the NBA Finals?
In the NBA Finals?
Yeah.
Celtics. I'm a Celtics fan. I know nothing about basketball whatsoever. Yeah, what's up, New York?
And I had another question, because we have this panel here. I wanted to know, what do you guys do for sore muscles? I mean, what's the best thing?
For sore muscles? Is that what you said?
Massage.
Massage.
Drugs.
He's kidding. I'll have to deal with that for the next 3 days. We'll take a couple more questions here.
Hi, I know it's been really hard for you to come to New York to have a fight, but I was wondering, I know this year's Fan Expo is in Vegas, but I was wondering if you were planning on bringing it to New York.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. When we finally do break through and do a big event here, I think that the event at Madison Square Garden that we do will be huge, and yeah, it would be a great time to pull off a Fan Expo here in New York. Yeah, I think it would be huge. The answer is yes.
Good. And I was wondering if I could get a picture with you.
I would love to.
Yes.
Hey Dana, what's up?
How are you?
Thank you for coming to Jersey. And thank you for coming to Jersey. I wrote a 10-page paper about you from one of my classes, market research, got an A on it.
Sweet, smart teacher.
My question is, well, two questions. First, when you did the Ultimate Fighter 4, you had UFC fighters come in, you know, try to revive their career and get a title shot after. Are you going to be doing that again anytime soon?
Yeah, it's funny. People keep asking me, it was the comeback. People keep asking me about the comeback. It was a great season, and the craziest part of that whole season is Matt Serra wins it and actually does win the title. I mean, it was crazy. But the answer is yeah. We're looking to do a lot of different stuff now, put the Ultimate Fighter live, and that would be a fun one.
And one more question. Would the winner of Diaz and Miller maybe fight Maynard or Guida and determine the #1 contendership if they have to wait?
And just to, you know, I hate talking about the stuff before the fights and the position that Miller is in. You know, the position that Miller is in is if Frankie and Henderson fight and Frankie wins, both of these guys would be in, you know, a position no matter which guy won. He just fought Henderson not too long ago. Koscheck just fought GSP. I mean, that's why I say that.
Dana, first I want to say thanks for bringing the UFC back. The card is stacked. And just a question for Nate with the recent things going on. Will your brother Nick be in your corner and just keep whooping ass, doing your thing?
Dana?
I will do one more. We'll do one more. All right, we'll do two more. I see you
Dana?
back there. What's up, buddy?
Quick question. I've been a fan of MMA since about 2000. And other than Major League Baseball and football, there's one sport I've been a fan of longer. I just want to know, when are we going to get a UFC monster truck?
The UFC what?
Monster truck.
Monster truck?
Yeah.
Nobody's ever asked me that question before. I don't know how to answer that question. How do monster trucks work? I've never even been to a monster truck thing. What do they sponsor trucks? Or are we supposed to build a truck and do it? I think Rampage has a monster truck. I don't even know how to answer your question.
Not a problem. One more question. This is my first time in New York. I flew in from Texas.
Thank you.
And when are we going to get another event in Texas, whether Cowboy Stadium or San Antonio?
Yeah, people always ask me that. First of all, you know, we're talking about doing some big fights here. Either, if things work out the way, you know, that they could, we'd end up doing a big fight probably in January. And if that fight happens, we're looking at 3 venues. Obviously, always Las Vegas is a venue, Dallas, Texas Stadium, and the Toronto again, you know, where we could hold huge events. So if things go the way that they could go, by January we could be, we're already talking about Dallas, Texas Stadium, so Cowboy Stadium, whatever they call it. Cool? Yeah, there we go.
Hi, Dana. Hi, guys. Good luck on Saturday. Can't wait. Just letting you know that I'm harassing the politicians as a native New Yorker here in New York all the time.
Thank you.
And I'll be there in Madison Square Garden for the historic day.
Thank you, sweetheart.
Very curious. I thought it was really clever to have Velasquez and Dos Santos on the UFC Fox because growing up watching boxing, everybody, heavyweights sort of got all the attention. So. Yep. I'm curious why you picked this as the second fight to get everybody addicted. What do you think about this fight will get America addicted?
Well, this one's actually our third, but you know, this card is stacked. The first thing I want, and what I always want, whether we're on free TV or we're on pay-per-view, is you want exciting fights with exciting fighters. And the one thing that I can always say, over the last 11 years that we've been in this business, it's a partnership between us and the fighters. And basically, we go out, we do all the bells and whistles and grow the sport and do what we do. And when these guys step in on Saturday night, they deliver. What people want to see is people want to see exciting fights. People want to see, and again, I don't want to sound like I'm bashing boxing, but boxing became this thing where these guys would go in there and do everything they could to avoid a fight for 12 rounds so that they could pull off a decision and move on to the next big payday. One of the things when I started to see this transition and this shift was when this guy named Arturo Gatti was fighting and would lose, yet sign another huge deal with HBO. Because people didn't care whether he won or lost, it was how he fought. And the way that this guy would go in and fight these wars and pull off upsets when it looked like he was going to lose. And it was all the drama and the excitement of a guy who went in and fought like the old school guys fought. And that's literally what these guys have delivered for the last 11 years in the UFC, and it's the reason that we're standing here today and have a deal on Fox. And I can tell you right now, you never know, like this gentleman was very upset with the main event of our last card, but you never know. When you put enough good guys on a card, you're bound to get great fights. I don't see Barry and LeVar going the distance. This fight here is either he's going to keep it standing and try not to go to the ground, he's going to try to go to the ground and rip his leg off, okay? One of those things is going to happen. These two guys are both great wrestlers with knockout power. Who knows what's going to happen? On paper, these are all great fights. These two, if this fight sucks, I don't know what to tell you, man. I mean, these two are going to go in there and go at it. For 1 round or 5 rounds, they're going to go. So I believe that this card is great. We designed this card to stylistically match up to be a great fight, and every one of these fights means something in these guys' career and in the sport.
And nothing against boxing. It has a special place in my heart as a kid.
I'm watching the fight on Saturday.
But this is the most exciting sport. It trumps football for me. It trumps basketball. This is the best sport that's out.
Thank you, baby. We appreciate it. And thank you, New York, for coming out today. We'll see you on Saturday.
It's good!
May 5th on Fox. Tune in right at 8 as hard-hitting heavyweights Pat Barry and LeVar Johnson